There is a popular saying, you came empty handed and you will leave empty handed. It sounds wise, people repeat it at funerals, in spiritual talks, on media, in books. Before accepting a statement, it is useful to look at carefully and honestly. First question, who exactly came? Not as an idea, not as a story, but in direct experience. Does anyone actually remember arriving? Not the birthday photographs, not the stories told by parents, not the date written on certificate, actual memory. Is there a memory of entering the world? Now notice something interesting. There is no such memory. What exists is information learned later. Someone said you were born on this day, someone said you were this small, someone showed pictures, and slowly another assumption begins to appear. The body is seen changing over the years, a child, then a teenager, then an adult, so a quiet belief forms. This changing body is me, but look carefully. The body keeps changing. Yet something is aware of those changes. Is the changing body what you are? Or that which is aware of the changes? Slowly a story formed, but the story appeared years after the event. So the question becomes very simple. Is the statement coming from experience or from repetition? Now look at the second part. You will leave empty handed. Again, it sounds profound, but pause. Who has experienced leaving? Has anyone returned to report the luggage situation? Or is it just another sentence that sounds meaningful because it has been repeated for centuries? This does not mean the sentence is wrong. It only means something very important. Much of what sounds like wisdom is often memory repeating memory. A phrase traveling through generations, it becomes familiar, and familiarity is often mistaken for truth. Real understanding begins in a different way. Instead of repeating sentences, there is a quiet curiosity, a simple honesty. What is actually known? Right now, something is happening: breathing, seeing, hearing, thinking. This living movement is undeniable. But the moment the mind starts speaking about before birth or after birth, it often moves into imagination. Stories begin, philosophies begin, beliefs begin, and very quickly the mind feels satisfied. But satisfaction is not same as reality. Clarity begins with something simpler. Admitting what is actually known and what is not. Strangely, this honesty does not make you smaller, it makes your perception sharper. Because now attention returns to what is real and present, investigation can begin. Instead of wandering through borrowed ideas, you can look at directly with your intelligence. So the next time someone says, you came empty handed and you will leave empty handed, perhaps a quieter question can arise. Not to argue, just to look. Who came and who is certain about leaving? Sometimes the beginning of knowing is not another answer. It is the courage to question the sentence that everyone else repeats. And perhaps something else becomes visible. That which later says, I came empty handed, was itself something learnt. Idea, memories, labels, ownership. Yet no one owns the earth, space, air, sun, etc. And certainly no one owns existence. At best, small pieces are managed for a while, maximum 100 years, lucky maybe 110. But the imagined owner spends a lifetime trying to collect more wealth, more recognition, more security, an endless effort. And somewhere deep inside, there is already a quiet knowing. Everything was already where it is. Nothing was truly bought, nothing was ever owned. Seeing this clearly, the whole story begins to look different. Not tragic, not mystical, just a mental construction. And then something subtle becomes visible. All the ideas about arrival were learnt later, and the ideas about leaving are also learnt. But that which was present before those ideas were taught, before the name, before the story, before the identity, never actually arrived. And something that never arrived cannot really live. It is simply where it has always been. And now a deeper question appears. If the story is seen as a construction, then what actually is looking? Are you the mental construction or that which can observe it? Just observe it. And in that observation, clarity will come. Instead of accepting these statements that you heard, you can directly experience that which never arrives and that which never leaves.